Hey, hi everyone, welcome back. This video is kind of like an update on what I've been building, so I'm not going to talk about any books, just so that you know. Um, when I launched my first app, Tizita, I got a lot of feedback from you guys, which is great, thank you. I tried to fix all the bugs, right? So a lot of the issues that you've been talking about is the authentication form that you can't really see the font, which I only realized later on. I did fix it. Apologies that it took so long. I was still, in my exam era, season, whatever you want to call it. Um, I launched a second app, by the way, which I don't know, it was way easier to build than Tazita because I generally just built it on one premise. That is, um, you are learning something new every day. You might not notice it, but if you start noticing it, then obviously you're gonna come up with at least a sentence of new things that you've learned today. And I built an app for that. Now it's a web app, so you can access it from every device. I did not turn it into an iOS app yet because I've been struggling to take on essentially the UI elements and transfer them into an iOS format because there are certain packages that apparently allow you to use your current React web app, and transform it identically into an iOS app. Now, with web apps, the issue is that the elements, like the UI elements, they're not resizing themselves. So it looks weird in an app. I would have to redesign everything completely. And because I'm kind of lazy, I don't want to do that. So I decided to build a second web app, which is way easier. And I called it Bloomlog. And very simple. Okay, it's mirrored. Apologies about that. But it's very simple because every day you just type in what you've learned. There's a 500 character limit because you shouldn't be overwhelmed by learning something big every day, right? So I had four kind of like entries so far. They're flowers because I like flowers. And you also have bouquets. So what I intended was that every time you write something down, that you've learned, that there is a certain AI model that can categorize what you've learned. So for instance, you'd have a general kind of like bouquet of things that you've learned. You'd have maybe a medical one if it's just about medical topics. Maybe something, about AI, tech, all that stuff, but that's not implemented yet. Apologies about that. And there's also kind of like statistic about what you've learned, how many entries you have, and yeah. And I just found out that you can definitely have it as an app icon. I'm not going to show you my phone though, so apologies about that. But you can pin the website as a web icon on your phone or desktop, and then you can reach it faster. So you'd have an incentive to write something every day. Yeah, so I designed this, took me 3 hours actually to launch, which was way faster than the first one because I figured out how to do the Stripe implementation and also the super base thing, and it was smooth. I was surprised. The only thing that I'm kind of regretting for this app is that I didn't share it sooner because I built it 2 weeks ago, but I was sick, so I decided to not make a lot of videos. And I did launch it on Product Hunt, to be fair. It reached place 54, something around that for the first 72 hours, and then it dropped to place 300, which is like a bit embarrassing, but that's fun. And yeah, very easy to use. Feel free to sign up. You can sign up. And for the authentication thing, so I'm using Superbase without paying, so the free trial. You can only sign up 4 times an hour before it blocks you. That is before, you know, you don't get a verification email that you've signed up. So apologies on that one. If you can't sign in, that is precisely the reason. Maybe try within the next hour if it happens. If not, feel free to comment below the video. What else do I have? I've been working on a newsletter, by the way, and just for transparency, every time you sign up on any of my apps, I see your email, right? And I was thinking of doing like a newsletter with the emails I have, obviously with the unsubscribe option. And you might receive an email within the next few days if you sign up on any apps. If not, then you won't get it. And yeah, I felt like maybe if you do want to build your own apps, maybe it's helpful if I tell you what I did. If you want to build similar apps, oops, that was Discord. And yeah, that's it essentially. I don't have a lot of updates. Before I bore you to death, then there's one more thing. I decided to launch a Discord channel, but it's under development. So feel free to join, but don't necessarily make me close the Discord server, please. Because I've heard from a few friends that, certain people apparently do disturb the Discord channel. I wouldn't say security, but like peace. So please don't do that. And that's it. Yeah, those are all the updates that I had. I don't have a nice teaser for Bloomlog like I did for Tizita because I just can't be bothered somehow for this app. I have a few other apps in mind actually. I'm not quite sure whether I can build them this week or maybe next week, but one is essentially for battling imposter syndrome because I just found out that the more successful you are or the more knowledgeable you are or the more things you try, you tend to think that you have achieved nothing, which is the imposter syndrome, right? Like you're telling yourself, oh, you're not good enough because it's never enough. And you compare yourself with people. And I decided maybe to build kind of like an app that maybe takes your CV or you answer a few questions, you type in a few achievements so that you have always a visual reference of what you already achieved, right? And I'm thinking on how to design this, how to implement it. But yeah, this is something I think I want to use. I've seen people getting really creative with battling imposter syndrome. There was one video where a girl, for instance, had like a Pandora bracelet with all her achievements, and every month she'd get a new one for her biggest achievement of the month, which is so cool, actually. Maybe I'll do that if I have enough money. And yeah, hope you sign up over Bloomlog. I'll add you to my newsletter. I hope you are all fine with that, and see you for the next video. Thanks for sticking around.